Welcome back to the channel IndigoAngel. Come on into this dimension and come on into this live Saturday night update. And we're so excited, you guys, because oh my gosh, there we go. Um, yeah, I had another link posted up there. But yeah, so we're so excited, you guys. We have so much to get into tonight. We have our Divine Feminine Council and Roundtable again. We are back, family, and we are just not going to hold back tonight. We got so much to get into. It feels like it's been a whole week since we last got together, which I think it has been. And there's just so much that's coming to the surface in terms of what's going on in the world. So, you guys definitely want to stick around because for this whole update, because this is going to be a full jam-packed show. We got like intel after intel after intel after intel. Plus, we're going to be doing a deep dive in the grid work with the Gulf of America and the new energies that are there. We're going to get into the topics of Dr. Fraudchi and his unexpected pardon and what just may really be going on behind the scenes with this death cult, corruption, needlecraft, globalist, human farming agendas, whatever it is. We're going to go a bunch of different directions with that. We're going to go into the diabolical force breeder programs. Something that's just, pretty near and dear to my heart when it comes to exposing this. Essentially, it's showing its ugly head again. It always is, but it's just never ending. And I was even noticing some reversal splitting within the force breeder program that was going on. So we're going to dive into some of these topics. And we're also going to get into the vampire body snatchers, the transhumanist lookalikes, the generational timeline jumpers, and it's just going to be jam-packed. I think we're going to pull some of these elements into the Gridwork mission session that we're going to do as well. We're going to actually like remote in and do some channeling and do some clearing of the grids because, yeah, I mean, how can you not after feeling into some of these things I think we're going to get into. So it's going to be significant that clearing we do. We're going to really work on Stargate 2, Sarasota, Florida. So, me and Missy had some conversation. That one was doing some Metatronic dark flowering. We're going to kind of get into what may be going on there. And also, this is kind of preparation work um, for the gridwork session that we're doing on January 28th, the Rainbow Crystal Awakening, that mission that we're doing that Noko is going to be guiding and leading. So we're so excited about that. And we really hope that you guys are going to be joining us for this. The links are down in the description. Be sure to check it out because I think this is going to be a big one. This is going to be a really big one. So, yeah, we're so excited everyone is here. Let's see, we have Jim Montgomery's here. Hey, Jim. Mawahari is here in the house. We got April Sealer. Yeah, guys, just drop it down in the comment in the chat. We love when you guys join us and say hello in the chat and let us know that you're here and, go along with the conversation with us because it's just a lot of fun to hear what you guys have to say, and we love tuning in with you. And you do have to be subscribed to the channel for at least 60 seconds to get in. This is our high-level security clearance detail settings that we're putting on the YouTube because we only want the real ones to come in here with us. No cyborgs, no NPCs. It's kind of like where you have to do that little thing that you check before you're able to like pass through something to make sure you're not like a bot or something. No, I'm just kidding. But kind of feels like that when I set that setting. But um yeah, just let us know that you guys are here tonight and also let us know where you're coming from. We like to know where you're located. So put a big like on this video, share this video out to your friends as well. I think I only had a chance to share it out once and that was on Facebook. So if you guys could help us out and share this out as well. And I'm excited because I have a lovely panel today. Like, yeah, thank you, beautiful ladies, for joining me. And let's go around and just say hello to everyone and just give them a quick update or where we're coming from and kind of maybe what's going on with our energies.
I'll
May
go.
Okay,
I'll go.
I was like, maybe I should start. Maybe I should start because I usually skip myself, right?
You want to go? You want to go, and I'll go after you.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's me and I go by Indy. That's like my nickname. And I'm down in Pensacola, Florida. And we're kind of, the snow's melting right now. It's starting to clear up and get back to normal. I think we had a day where all the grocery stores were closed and everybody just kind of lost their minds. Like people in Florida, it's like snow. Like, what? So I think that's kind of significant to the Gulf of America energies. And oh my gosh, I got to thinking I should go down there and do a ceremony because it's like a rebirthing of the waters, all these things. So it's kind of exciting. But yeah, so Pensacola, Florida. I'm actually in alignment with the Stargate too. I'm not too far. It's actually within like energy vortices and ley lines to it. So we're getting the activations over here for sure.
Awesome. I can't believe it was snowing in Florida. That's so weird. And it's like sunny skies, like we're in the mountains. So my name is Ani Sophine. I live in Ashland, Oregon, in the mountains. I'm about 1 hour north of Mount Shasta, so I'm kind of like in that bubble with her, and she's definitely a portal. I don't know if she's a Stargate, but she's definitely a portal. And yeah, it's been really nice and sunny here, and it's been great. And I'm just glad that I'm getting sun and some vitamin D.
Hi, everybody. It's Raquel coming to you from just outside of Vancouver. I hope everybody's doing well today. We've been actually getting some really great weather. So I guess all the snow has come to Indy and to you guys down there. But yeah, we haven't had any snow yet this year, which is really surprising because we usually do get like, a big blast in December and then we get some in January and beginning of February. So yeah, we haven't had any snow. So yay. But it's been great. Yeah, thank you so much, Indy, for inviting me again to this roundtable. It's awesome to see all of your shining faces again. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And I'm Miss C. Hill, coming to you from Edisto Island, South Carolina, land of the snow instead of land of the sky, Western North Carolina. And I'm feeling that this snow has been like a big crystalline clearing. To see the snow mingle with the sand has just been amazing. I mean, it was like a bed of an inch and a half of ice, and then like almost 2 inches of snow, and it's stuck around. And I think this is connected to the great freeze out in the Gulf of America that needed to happen to get rid of some Draco vampires.
For sure, Missy.
Hey everyone, it's me, Noko. I'm just here tuning in from Georgia, northeast of Atlanta, and we also got another round of snow that was 2 weeks in a row, and something that's very rare here. I've been living here for over a decade, and yeah, people don't know what to do, just like Indy said. So we kind of just stay home, very different from where I'm from. But I too believe, Missy, that this is some sort of clearing, some sort of energy here that's really bringing in a lot of purity and a lot of inner child codes because you're seeing everybody come out and play and just have fun and turn their TVs off and get out there with nature and play with the rainbow crystals out there in the snow. So. Yeah, it's a good thing.
Oh my gosh, I don't want to burst a bubble or anything, but I was seeing all these posts saying to not play in the snow, don't touch the snow, that all the chemicals are falling in the snow and that they're like sending the next virus out through the snow, all this stuff. I was like, "Oh my gosh."
Well, we're still alive and we made a snow guy and we had a snowball fight and we did not get sick. We feel great. So I maybe we're just protected.
Yeah, that's good.
I have a snow pyramid sitting out there, one of my crystal skulls. Shambhala was on top of the snow pyramid or Mount Edisto all day and is still cold, as you can see. It feels so good.
Well, we have some of our friends checking on in. We got Amber Dyer. She's from Texas. I think I seen another one from Texas. Yeah, Lee Mubai. Hello from El Paso, Texas. Yeah, we got Texas in the house. Shannon, hi ladies, windy Los Angeles. Yeah, I know things are still crazy over there. My goodness. Um, wow. And yeah, Jim Montgomery, hey, he's coming in. Where's Jim Montgomery coming from? I think he said, oh, he's in Hills, Florida. Okay. Howie in the Hills, Florida. Nice. And Stritchy Draws. I'm sorry, that's so, oh, Stritch Hydra. Okay. I was seeing that definitely backwards or something. But yeah, that's, so you must be from the Hydra system. Okay, awesome. Well, yeah, check on in, you guys. And yeah, again, be sure to put a like on this video. We got actually a cool announcement that we're going to be talking about. And this is something that we've been working on.
Mhm.
We've been working on really hard. So it's kind of like a drum roll. I feel like.
I know, Indy, did you see the comment in there from Asheville Alchemy? Kind of goes in line with the little drum roll you're doing there.
Oh yeah, Blessings Appellation.
Mm-hmm.
Arignani live from the Maharishi Mountain in Boone and just returned from doing grid work in Charleston.
That's my
Wow.
friend. That's
Okay.
my
Nice. Yeah. Well, we're excited to learn about this deep history.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, that's perfect. Perfect drum roll. Okay. Well, then we'll just we'll just show this beautiful landing page that we all worked on it and put effort in putting together, right? We all brought a piece to the puzzle for this, and we're really excited because, yeah, this is going to be a grid work mission in Charleston, South Carolina. We're calling it America the Beautiful, Let Freedom Ring, Planetary Healing and Grid Work Mission. And this is going to be boots on the ground. This is going to be 3 days, April 11th, 12th, and 13th. And it's got some really significant history. I think maybe we should just turn this over to Missy a little bit. She could tell us a little bit about this history and why this is so important for us to be working on this grid right now at this time.
okay. Wait, I'm not seeing. Okay, there we go. Yeah, this is very important because this actually landed in my lap in 2015. I've been sitting on this ever since I went to Fort Sumpter, where the which actually was a Union stronghold, was attacked by the Confederacy. What's interesting about this whole piece, we're able to actually do this grid work on the anniversary day, which is April 12th. Okay, for when those first shots were fired in Charleston at Fort Sumpter. So what this holds, what I saw years ago and have been seeing ever since, if this was a mini feminine vortex connected to the greater Bermuda Triangle vortex. And actually, when I went to Puerto Rico, that's when I got the downloads about what was going on in the Bermuda Triangle. When I was at La Garita del Diablo at San Cristobal, these iguanas came through when they were laying out in the sun, and they collectively told me that they were connected to the goddess Inanna. And I was kind of like, oh my God, in shock. Inanna, aren't you an Anunnaki goddess? And they said, well, yeah, but that doesn't mean we're for the patriarchy. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I was shown that this was like a weaponized plasma, and that's part of why the ships go down. And it connects into a greater program called the Scorned Woman program. Like, if you know about Pele, the goddess Pele out in Hawaii, if you take some of that volcanic rock, why you're cursed, why even in Western North Carolina, the lands will test you when you go to the mountains. Not everybody's meant to be in that vortex because of the Cherokee. So it was the same kind of thing. And this is a greater piece connected to also the people of Charleston that have the bloodline that goes back to, the different people that, like Sumpter and the different people that live there, and the people that are buried in the St. Michael's Church, some of the places that we'll be going to. So some of the places that are very important to this grid work, besides Fort Sumpter, which actually I feel holds the seat of contention to all wars. When a civil war between the North and the South, brother against brother, when your own biological family are fighting each other because the government is saying you're part of the North and you're part of the South, and you're supporting slavery and you aren't. It was much bigger than that. It was much bigger than the Boston Tea Party, than the slavery. Abraham Lincoln, God rest his soul, all this was on his watch, all this death, and it even ties into Thanksgiving because Abraham Lincoln decided that we would have the national holiday of Thanksgiving on a Thursday, which was the commemoration of the end of the Civil War. So when we celebrate Thanksgiving, if we do that in unawareness with the collective ritual, what the people eat on that day, representing Indian giveaway and turkeys being pardoned and things like that, are we actually creating the very thing in the grids that we don't want to be a part of, which is like war between masculine and feminine, black against white, race wars, rich against poor, North against South, red against blue. And now transhumanism with the organic human against AI being some of our biggest threat. Another place we'll go is
well, just one second, Missy. I just want to read a little statement from this paragraph that we have here because it kind of sums everything up. This part. It says the mission will focus on clearing and preventing war, healing the impact of the first shots fired of the Civil War. We're going to do a global J seal removal, address the hurricane devastation, global war prevention, and just many different ceremonial type settings that we can help build the connections with everyone. And we're going to be doing prayer intention setting, everything, right? It's going to be from A to B, from beginning to end, everything complete, from opening to close, that it's going to be a process. It's going to actually be a gridwork journey that we're sharing together. So it's 3 whole days. And so I just wanted to pull it down here, not to cut you off, but I just wanted to kind of let people know, what can they expect from it? What are they going to get out if they come and join us in South Carolina?
And if they come, they'll hear me talk for days about the subject because I can go on.
Yes. Well,
sorry,
and that's the joy of the mission is day 2. We're going to have Missy. She's going to take us. I mean, she's an expert in this location. She knows about the history. She knows everything. So, I mean, she's going to really guide us on day 2 of our mission. We're going to be, going into Fort Sumter, and we're going to take the ferry. And we're going to learn all about this with Missy. She's going to be our guide. Going to Pineapple Fountain, Provost Dungeon, Tavern at Rainbow Row, Powder Museum, and also doing a addiction alcohol clearing as well, which I think will be something that's really needed. But yeah, so I think we'll be talking about this more as things unfold. We do have all the information out for everyone. If you'd like to go and check it out, just come and check out this landing page we did because it's fantastic. All of the links will be down in the description. And
can I say one thing though?
Yeah.
The Constitution was ratified in Charleston. Now, this is another thing that connects in with this whole vampire thing, and because when I was doing some research about this, which was 1775, and also the Declaration of Independence was done in 1775. Did I say 19? Time traveling back and forth. 1775, and who was supposedly there was Saint Germain. That gets into this whole, these beings that live forever thing.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Well, I think we have some stuff on those beings that live forever, don't we? Let me pull up that picture that I have, so that way maybe we can explain this.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I love Jabba the Hutt. I love that. Great.
Well, I guess this is how they're imitating them, but it goes beyond this. There's like more of a deeper concept to this, right, Missy? There's more of like it's, they're kind of like depicting them as like these cartoon characters and everything, but it's actually they're jumping bodies, like different celebrity bodies or different power seats.
Yep.
Okay.
Actually, this one came from Raquel. This is the one she brought in. So let's hear her thoughts on this. I'm just loving Jabba the Hutt. I love
Okay, okay.
it.
Oh my goodness, you're putting me on the spot. I just sent it so Indy had a collection of all of her characters. I'm not really sure about the history of these characters, but yeah, you can go ahead, Missy.
Well, with this one, we're looking at well, the one that stands out right now. I mean, Soros. Who's the character at the bottom? That's from Batman, isn't it? Is he supposed to be like a Batman
That's
character?
the penguin.
Oh, the penguin. Oh my God, that's right, the penguin. Well, I mean, just look at the bar scene. So when I think of Jabba the Hutt, think of the bar scene in Star Wars and all the the different aliens, and you don't know what you're looking at. Who is this guy? Who is he really? Put on the fraud and the mother.
Okay, yeah, I think we have another video
Yeah.
with
Now I'll
Fraudschi,
tell
Fraudschi,
I'll
Fraudschi and
tell
Mother
you.
Teresa.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Oh,
With
the one
this
you want me to show the one that you sent me?
Yeah,
Okay.
would you please? Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. What they say about this is, first of all, the fact checkers say this isn't true. And it could be AI, but what I want people to see is that they want to immortalize people, either whether it's through real ascension, and you have to have a discerning everything, a discerning eye, a discerning
Is that the
ear, a
right
discerning
one, Mocha?
heart,
Okay.
your inner knowing. Or is it through loosh energy, through the adreno, what that stuff is, and drinking drinking. Yeah, I saw a video today that was talking about Count Saint Germain, saying that he actually never ate anywhere that he was. I mean, some say he subsisted on oatmeal. He was a breatharian. This one paranormal investigator from Louisiana said it was, they changed
Noko, is that the picture? Is that the one? Because
Well,
I think I think
I was it's a video, so I was waiting for her to stop talking so I could play it for you.
Oh,
Go
okay.
ahead and play that now. Go ahead and play that clip if you can play that.
Can you replay it again? I wasn't able to read the description.
I don't know if we can. I think we'd have to pause it at
Pause
each
it?
point because it flips
Yeah.
through pretty quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
And
super fast.
there's no pause button
Oh.
on there that I can on the computer with Instagram. It's really not meant to work well on.
Right, exactly. There's another clip before I comment. Do you have that one that's AI of Neptune? Did you bring that one up? That I
I'll have
sent
to
you
go
that too.
look
That
for-
was the old
I have
man
to
that
go look.
turned into a god.
But I
Did
have
you
to
see-
say, I've heard about that Mother Teresa situation, and gosh, they really do look a lot alike.
Don't
mean,
they?
That's
Don't they? And if you remember years ago, Dick Cheney's wife did the genealogy and wrote some kind of book and said all these people were related. I mean, all these people that are in the know, like the Obamas at that time, were related to them. When she did the genealogy, she somehow found that out. So it wouldn't surprise me that if Fraudschi's wife is related to Maxwell, I mean, we don't know. It's all allegedly, but this is painting a picture. And the reason for that other video is showing the way people can be immortalized, whether they are immortalized through the organic ascension process, how that's going to play out and happen, like Yeshua in the Bible ascended. Okay. Now, this character of Saint Germain, is he really an ascended being, or did Francis Bacon fake his death? Francis Bacon actually helped translate the King James Bible, as well as took the pen name of William Shakespeare. Okay, and the Francis Bacon Saint Germain character could have been Plato in a past life, supposedly could have been Merlin in a past life, could have been Christopher Columbus in a past life. And then in a future life, some guy from France that was like a magician. I forget his name. I'd have to actually look that up. Some blonde guy, and they say that he could actually turn base metal into gold and all this stuff with alchemy. Now, there's a picture on the internet of Helene Blavatsky with him, Master Elmoira, and I'm trying to think of somebody else. But were these people alive or dead? So when I was looking at doing some of this research today, because I was thinking how I always felt this tied in with the information that I've heard on Saint Germain, whether he was really for real, like he's really an ascended master, or is he a vampire? Because there was another Saint Germain in New Orleans that but he had something a little different, tweaking with his name, and they said that this guy never actually ate, and they found that the wine bottles were a mixture of wine and something else that I don't want to say, that connects into that adreno stuff. It's just food for thought. And when you look at these pictures, even JD Vance, can you pull up that picture of JD Vance?
Yeah, I just found the other videos. They were the old man. Is that what it was?
Yeah, play those just for the what we're looking at with AI, where if kids don't have a discerning eye, they're not going to know what's real and what's fake, and how somebody can become immortal through AI. Yeah, let's just look at this clip here. There's two of them.
And then Missy, I'm going to respond to what you just said after we're done.
Cool.
Just give me a moment, because I'm having to kind of get these ready. And if you guys want to chat while I'm doing that.
I'll talk now while you're doing it. Yeah. So Missy, so kids are not able to discern at all. They're not able to discern. I mean, even up to like 25, possibly 30. We're not fully adult until we're 25. Our brain is not fully developed until then. So and you're right about immortalizing these people, and then also, or beings or vampires or whatever they are. And not only that, it turns into like this cultish type of like following. And I'm really noticing it right now in our current social media environment. There's like this cult following that's happening. And it's crazy. You can go down so many different paths, and like you said, this whole transhumanism thing in connection with AI, I believe it is sucking the energy out of us, and they are using it as loosh. They're totally using it.
And the whole thing with where was I going to go with this? Well, I want her to play that clip because people need to see.
It kind of reminds me of a zeitgeist, like when you said about the cult thing.
That's the whole thing.
Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows, only time. And who can say if your love grows as your heart shows, only time.
And then Missy, this is the photo that you had sent me about Vance.
This whole download started coming in the first shooting of Trump. I actually happened to be up at Mount Mitchell, okay, which was actually, I've talked about this before, is the highest point in Western North Carolina, east of the Mississippi and east of the Rockies at 6,684 feet, was untouched by Hurricane Helene. Zebulon Vance was the Vance Monument in downtown Asheville, and they removed it. You know, those three-letter people, those agencies, we're trying not to say certain keywords, and the certain 40-year-old something white women protesting against the monument. On the higher level, I could see why the thing needed to come down, but on the lower level, they should not change her story. But isn't it interesting how J.D. Vance, who's supposedly not related, but he is related more through the mother's line and probably changed his last name to Vance. Look, see how much they look alike. How Zeb and J.D. look a lot alike.
I mean, even the way the photo is like poised and everything, it's so interesting that,
I know.
yeah.
Missy, is this his relative? Zebulon?
Well, yeah, they're related. I don't know how much they're related. It's hard to find the trace, but it's sort of like if in his mother's line, maybe he took the last name Vance. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure this out. And I've yet to watch that movie, Hillbilly Elegy. I have not watched that yet, but I know there's a movie about him.
Very interesting connection.
Yep.
I just want to go back to the Fauci little caption that we did earlier. I just wanted to just touch on that again, because if that's the case, then it's like a direct connection to what's happening with all of the I guess the Disney locations as well, right? It's like they have direct access to all of these kids that they're bringing back into the US or wherever, right? So it's like it's like almost having easy access to all of these places, right? So it's like having somebody in Calcutta and having, that easy access and having the ability to bring kids over whenever they want, right? To me, that's like a parallel to all of the Disney locations with the underground tunnels and things like that. But this is like going back to I think you showed that there was a connection to the Mossad as well, right? So there's that Ghislaine Maxwell connection as well, right? So they could very well be bringing these kids back to the island and having them at those parties. And so it's very concerning if that's the case, and that making that connection. So Trump has said that he was going to expose those files as well. I wonder if that's going to come to light now with those files being exposed. If that connection is actually true, then that Fauci connection will be revealed with the Ghislaine Maxwell files, right?
We hope so. I also, I'm also getting that the FC is a puppet, and the Grand Masters are in the background. And the reason why he was pardoned was to cover up the Grand Masters that are controlling what's going on in the background, pulling the strings. And if he was not pardoned, we would have probably found out more information because there would be more legal action taking place. And so I just really feel that all of these people that are in, like on stage, so to speak, are not necessarily the ones that are controlling everything. And so we need to be very discerning and really question everything, and be skeptical and really dig deep internally to see what's the truth. But I'm getting that there is a reason behind why he was pardoned. And I do believe the Grand Masters are, twiddling their fingers in the background. So
I didn't BYEDONE pardon himself. He did.
Because I think that he's not fully cognitive.
That's true too. Yeah, you're
He is
right.
not. He is not fully cognitive at all. You could tell by his behavior and the way that he's acting, and they know that, and they've been trying to cover it up for a long time. And so they allowed him to pardon whoever he pardoned. And the thing is with a pardon, and I think we were talking about this before, and I did look it up. Once you're pardoned, you're pardoned for life. I don't know if they can ever go back on that. And I mean, please, if somebody else has any other information, please let us know, and let us know in the comments. But I'm almost 100% sure that once you're pardoned, you are good to go. But with the the FC, what's really interesting is that there is now right now there's like these new programs that are coming out, the new Stargate AI, right? There was the old school Stargate program through the CIA where they were actually researching parapsychology, and they were researching telepathy, and that's where the whole remote viewing thing came along. And I'm actually going to go back and read the papers to see what it's really about, but they've just rebranded the new Stargate AI, which has SoftBank, OpenAI, Oracle, and MGX, plus Larry Ellison stating that they're going to be using needlecraft technology more so now with the use of AI to try and cure cancer or all of these other diseases. So more of this technology is going to be coming out, and the FC was definitely a player behind the scenes. Like, he was kind of the mad scientist that was like, messing with, genome and genetics and viruses and all this kind of stuff. But these other players have a direct link to that. And it was completely allowed by Trump. Trump is supporting it.
Well, it goes back even further than that, Ani. He was
Yeah.
involved in the AIDS pandemic as well.
Right.
It was much more than that.
Yeah.
And if you follow Dr. David Martin's research, like, he's been hounding this guy for many decades now, and he's got like a lot of goods on this guy. And it goes directly back to the insurance companies and how they are behind the scenes. And it also goes to I guess you could call it the cover up, right, for the big pharma, because a blanket immunity has been issued for them. So no matter what they do, there's a blanket immunity for these guys. It doesn't matter whether they bring in AIDS or whether they bring in the big COVID, right? And so they've got a blanket coverage that just protects them from anything, really. So these guys are just playing in the sandbox with all kinds of dangerous things, and they're just unleashing it on humanity. So yeah, there's something that has to be done, which I guess that's why that's what they're scared of now, right? And that's why they've issued this pardon to him, because they don't want any of this to be exposed. So it'll be interesting to see how David Martin, or Dr. David Martin, deals with this latest situation, and if he's got a say in all of he's got many court cases going on right now. So the other thing that I heard was that this pardon is on a federal level and it's not on a state level. So I don't know how the laws work for you guys, but I don't know how much or how far they could go after him from a state level. So that would be interesting to see, and how that holds up in courts at the state level.
There's other things going on with the flu bird, and then have you heard that new thing about mRNA? Is you're going to have mRNA to fix mRNA, and all these memes going around on fake books saying I'm safe from the mRNA. I marked myself safe. Ani, do you know about that? Have you seen?
I don't follow the F book because I just don't go down. I don't go there. I go to X.
But you know what I'm talking about, right?
Indy, are you talking?
Oh, you're muted, Indy.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I was like clicked over on other screens as well. I'm wondering if that word, though, that you just said a few times, I wonder if that's a flag word on YouTube. You know what I mean? I feel like this is such a sensitive topic. Like,
But it was
like we do have to dance with it a little bit delicately. Yeah.
Agreed.
Because it's just like I don't know if YouTube or any of the other social media platforms are entirely up to speed with the free speech wave that's coming through. You know what I mean? It's like we hope that they're going to get there, but it's not like we've seen anything. Like there hasn't been any like sort of official notice that's come from YouTube or anything like that. Like, oh, we're going to change rules and regulations around certain things. So it's like I wonder how that clash of content on different platforms is gonna work. You know, that's gonna, and I feel like it's maybe mirroring the representation of this ruffle that you see, because it feels like some sort of globalist war is gonna start playing out. Like, because all of these guys are super powerful. They're very power hungry. They have a lot of, desire and lust, which takes us into, some of these forced breeder programs and what they were doing over at the World Economic Forum. I think you sent this to me, Ani, with just these sex parties and Bill Gates and Klaus Schwab and Larry Fink, the
Oh, I
the
sent that to you.
BlackRock guy.
I sent that to you.
Oh, you sent it? Okay, gosh, I got it all mixed up because I'm just
No
like going
worries.
so fast. But it's like, yeah, so they're doing all this crazy stuff, having these, like I think they said 300 escort women's that they booked in Davos. And
Well, this is the opportunity for them to do all of their blackmail, right, to all of these big CEOs and all of the movers and shakers that are going there. Because when you look at it, these are the ones that impact society, right? It's like the it's like the second tier from the, I guess, the leaders of the country, right? So these are like the in-between guys that make an impact with the everyday people like you and me, because they have businesses and they have companies like Walmart and all these other big companies that are directly impacting the general public, right? And so once they issue their mandate, if you will, then it rolls out into the general public and that impacts you and I. So yeah, these are the places where they sort of secure that second layer, if you will, within society, and they have them in their pocket to sort of give them their rules, their marching orders. Does that make sense?
It totally does. And they're also, I like the word that Indy used was, lust, the lustful, like they're it's like when you exchange energy, sexual energy with another human being, there's like this energetic, like, contract tie that happens between you. And so it's another way to, like you said, yeah, it's a form of like massive control, energetic control. And that's like one of the biggest forms of control is that, sexual energetic exchange between two humans or non-humans.
right.
Yeah.
And it just displays their general morality. It just displays like, how deep down into all of the sexual wartime slavery of the divine feminine and transgender women too. I mean, they're got all kinds of these types signing NDAs over there for all the stuff that they're doing, you know. Um, gosh, who brought that in one time? It was one of our divine sisters that came on the round table. But she was talking about how they have like freak off parties. Like the Diddy parties were like actual to see how freaky you could be. Like that it was some sort of like sexual, like deviant competition that they weren't, that these were like grotesque sexual parties and things like that. And you got to think like, this is what these archons and heathens are essentially participating in, and then all of our money is getting funneled into them, and that's what's circulating through. It's an entire satanic funneling of into the Wisa system, ultimately into the farming of humans. And just to spin off of what Raquel was saying, I think a minute ago, the Bill Gates corruption, they just found, and this is what I mean, the globalist wars, like what might be starting to happen is because they're all power hungry, they're all going to be wanting to fight the powers that be because they don't like the hand that's coming down, and they're going to start just being even snakier than they already are, because Bill Gates got I guess, caught red-handed with a fake petition for RFK Jr., getting all of these doctors to sign these signatures. They have over 17,000 doctors, basically for the healthcare system to reject anything that RFK Jr. tries to bring forward. And they found out because a bunch of doctors found their names, signed on it, and they're like, "Hey, I didn't sign this." So, I mean, I guess that all was funded by Bill Gates. This just came out like yesterday. So it's just like, wow, they're gonna really start just doing some dirty stuff.
They are running scared,
Yeah.
aren't they? And they're
Yeah,
just
and I was
resorting
gonna
to everything they
say,
can.
I was just gonna say in regards to the parties and the P. Diddy and all this stuff that's blowing off lately, like I feel like the more that these things are coming to the surface, we're starting to kind of make openings for the people, the victims, the people that were involved that maybe didn't actually want to be, to start coming forward and sharing their stories. I've seen a lot more, a lot of women really coming forward and talking about, what happened at these parties and exposing a lot of this and like you were saying, Indy, like they're gonna start kind of going, I feel like after each other to try to, right, like save face or whatever. So I really think it is going to be a little bit of the wild, wild west when it comes to, how this all plays out and, watching these people that have been in high places kind of squirm a little bit and try to figure out what's my next move here so that I don't get caught up in all this mess.
Right, because think about the power plays, like just tying us down into the Gulf of America, the Panama Canal. You know what I mean? And China basically, or the CCP has control over that. And, so the only way for the US to like get in there is they have to get in there and then they have to start pushing those companies out. So it's like that could cause some contention with China down there in the Panama Canal. I mean, and that's kind of really, I mean, I know that there's like a whole deal of our history that went into that, and I don't really know too much of it. I think it was gifted to Panama. Does anyone know kind of the story on that, the backstory?
Trump said that it was sold for $1 back to Panama. So it was one of the most expensive canal. It was the most expensive canal to build, is what he said. And then, however many years ago, and I can't remember with what administration, it was sold back to Panama for $1. So
Jimmy Carter, I think.
Jimmy
I think
Carter,
under the,
okay.
yeah.
Well, the French tried to build it initially and they gave up because it was too expensive. And then the US came in and they finished it. But unfortunately, after they finished it, yeah, they just gave it away for $1 to back to the Panama government. But uh, they gave it to them with the agreement that it would be like a neutral zone, right? And this is where it's not neutral anymore because the Chinese companies that are sort of have got the monopoly on it on both sides of of the island. I guess it's the north and the south, and it's yeah, they're just completely monopolizing the trade, and they're just causing delays, right? So it's like each hour you wait, you're paying millions and millions of dollars just to wait in port and not doing anything, right? And so they have that monopoly right now, and that's what Trump is upset about. And he wants to do something about it. But when I was researching this, guys, I found something really interesting. In Mexico, there's a place called Salina Cruz. And it's like the narrowest part of Mexico when you look at it, like the landmass, it's like the narrowest part of Mexico. They are actually drilling and they're making like a roadway and railway that's going to imitate the Panama Canal. And so if they succeed, then that's going to essentially throw, all of these things, they're just upsetting all of these plans that Trump is making because everybody is just going to turn their focus to I guess, this other route that's being created. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's what I discovered.
It
It
really
may
is
it may be a
interesting.
good thing if it clears some of the contention, because we see what the two double canal thing is doing over in Egypt. I believe there's two canals that are sitting on each side of Saudi Arabia, or we'll have to look at it when we get on the map. But I mean, that's caused, I think it's really at the crux of a lot of the war over in the Middle East, is they're battling over those two passageways and those two ports.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, just looking at what it does to the rest of the world when it comes to ports and things like this, like it's definitely it's a it's kind of like a weakened point in the energy field on some level. And I just want to give a quick shout out to Joanne Heish. Sorry, sister. She was the one who told me about the P. Diddy freak off parties. Uh, yeah, so shout out to you, Joanne. Thank you so much for coming in. And I think there was a couple other comments really quickly here. Shanna says, I know it's been said, but this is popcorn season, just watching these fools go at each other as we watch it unfold. Yeah, totally. It's like a boxing match. It's like that's what we're watching, the globalist billionaire boxing match. Oh my goodness. But they don't they swing below the belt. That's what they're doing. They're not really kind of fair and they're really snaky. And I mean, man, I don't know if you guys caught that handshake between Donald Trump and Gavin Newsom when he came off the plane. Like it was some sort of strange, like Freemason slash like power struggle between the both of them. You know, Gavin Newsom kind of almost looked like a mob boss walking up on Trump and like trying to give him a fist pump and then like smacks his jacket. Like it was awkward. It's a very awkward exchange of energy. Uh,
Well, his name wasn't mentioned when Trump went to California. At least what I heard, he did not mention his name. He mentioned a bunch of names. I didn't know the people what they were, and it sounds like in North Carolina, some people are getting their homes back. So I'm glad to hear that. I need to look into that more.
Yeah, and
And
before
then
I forget,
Yanni in the chat also made me aware, posted a video of, more good things are happening, that it's going to be declassified now about the JFK assassination and Martin Luther King and RFK.
Mhm.
mm,
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, Indy, bringing it back to that canal combo. When you said the two canals, I immediately like saw them as women's. I don't want to go into detail, but like the canal as the birth canal, right? And the fighting over these spaces, having two of them and everybody wanting to put their ship in there. It's really related. It's really tied into and connected into, the power struggle and everything we're just talking about with, the OnlyFans and all the things that are
yeah.
happening. It's really very related, like a macrocosm, microcosm kind of connection. And the power is like this masculine, like I gotta take this and it's mine. And it's very domineering.
Yeah, just as you were saying that, I was getting the feminine root chakra being like fractured and that these are like maybe power points on the planet. I think this really ties into the grid work that we're gonna do. Um, with having that new like almost like a hidden or unseen feminine template come forward. That's, I guess, hopefully with the activation of the energies and the clearings, that it will cleanse the root chakra. And I think, yeah, this ties into the Gulf of America as well. Because I mean, when I was channeling that this morning, and that's just let you guys know, coming into this space with you and everyone watching today, like I've been off today. I have been so off. Like I don't know what it is about the energy today, but it's just something feels like either there's been a building up of something or there's like pressure or everything feels heightened. Um, Energy like is super sensitive. Really flowing through me like it's almost as if it's just like penetrating me super cellularly. And so it's been so hard to be in my headspace. Like I find myself even just like my consciousness, my body, my spirit's just not even letting me. It's just saying like don't even try, you're gonna hurt yourself. Go into your spirit. Go into just feeling and intuiting energy right now. So I don't know, like I'm getting this redirect. It's just like and that almost feels like a separation of or bifurcation of timelines that are occurring as well. Like we're getting more bifurcation. The body's having to repair deeper at a cellular level right now. I don't know if you're getting ascension symptoms or ascension flu, but I'm getting those. Like I've had like stomach ache and like hot flashes and like just all this temperature disturbance. Definitely started when the snow came for me. Not saying that there was anything wrong with the snow. I actually don't feel like sick, but I feel like Ascension flu or something's going on, with the planetary alignment and with the grids changing and shifting. And there just being so much activity at like everywhere simultaneously. It feels like almost like a frenzy. And there's sharks in the water. There's been blood poured into the water, and the sharks are just like getting all hype off the blood. Uh, but what is that about? I think it's like a massive collective like ego death. There's something shedding. We're shedding layers. I'm feeling like the snake skin, like we're molting, like we're having to just peel back. And it doesn't even feel like it's entirely ours at the same time. It feels like something is like we're having to process some massive collective collective energy. Uh that's
And we're
kind
coming
of yeah. But
coming out of
oh,
the dragon into the snake too. That's going to be Chinese New Year, the wood snake.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the serpent energy was coming up today. I was getting a lot of Hydra activations, a lot of cosmic celestial serpent mother just pouring in and bringing up all the tribal codes. And actually, she was taking me to the beginning of creation, like how the whole earth was built and how why we're shifting through so much collective mental planes is just like just all the planetary war, the inflictions of it, and how we're just like this, conglomeration of so many different mental planes, and that this is like hosting the entire earth field. And Tiamat was the original consciousness, and that is like Hydra's consciousness or Hydra's form. I was getting all this just like pouring through. Um, but it does bring me to what's happening with the force breeder programs. Turn right into that great collective fracture and wound and separation and betrayal of humankind. Because it's absolutely crazy right now, right? Like Iraq just passed a new marriage law in which I guess it's been 18 years old for them to, you know, the legal age, but they changed it to 9. And this is recent. I mean, it's always been 18 since like the 1950s. And so basically now they can marry children and it's legal over there. And it's really sad because it's like 40% of their female population is getting, married off in these arranged marriages when they're barely coming of age. They're barely coming of their menses and things like this. Um, so yeah, it's that's something I can't not ever pay attention to anymore for some reason is what's going on with the women, what's happening with the women all over the world because it really shows you where the root of evil is when um because it's young girls. It's not like these are 9-year-old boys that are getting married off. These are all young girls. And I mean, there was even a video circulating on X where they were showing one of the child marriages. Like the girl was in a wedding dress. She was like, you could tell visibly 9 or 10 years old. You could see the literal fright and the scare on her face. Like, what the F is happening? And she's literally being kind of like drug in to get married. And it's just like, this is unbelievable. I can't believe this even exists in these modern times when we're over here like demanding freedom of speech and I feel like on some level there's a progressive essence of society, at least, we think there is on a level of consciousness. But that we have this polar opposite that's just, right on the other side of the globe where the worst detriment of the force breeder programs is essentially occurring. Um, but this is what I was talking about with the reversal splitters that I wanted to show you guys, and I was calling it a reversal splitter. It was, I'll just share this article really fast. It's talking about there was an OnlyFans model that was arrested in Turkey after vowing to sleep with 100 men in one day. And I'm getting that this is probably going to start being a thing now because remember the girl that just like did this? There was I don't know if she was in the United States. I don't remember her name. I didn't really follow the story too closely, but I just know it was like 100, and I think she just did like 1,000 person marathon or something like that. Like I was just like, ew, oh my gosh, like that's just so violating. That's so vile to her spirit and her like what a trauma that you're willingly like does her spirit just leave her body and go completely off planet when this is going on? I mean, like I just to me it's legal prostitution. I think honestly, Turkey arresting this woman, like maybe that's a wake-up call on some level. I mean, because this is totally legal prostitution. This is it's beyond. I mean, this is the reversal splitter in the force breeder program where you see the polarity, the pendulum swing in terms of, I mean, to me, this is sexual violence. This is absolutely sexual violence. Like this was the gal I think that did it. This was her post on X. Her goal is to break the Turkish record, then the world record, with 100 men in 24 hours. But yeah, I guess she was the one that then got arrested for doing it. But I mean, I think these are the harlots of the world. These are the Jezebels. These are the reversal black Liliths. These are I think these are the true witches. Back in the day when they burned the witches at the for being a witch or whatever. Like I feel like this is gonna start to be persecuted and crucified. This will start to become something because, I mean, there is a global awakening happening that's, I think, trying to, on some level, repair the foundation of the gender imbalances. And so when people start to kind of feel their footing and things that are grounded in natural law, then they're gonna instinctually repel things like this and speak against things like this. And really, I mean, it's to save your own daughter at the end of the day, your own child. Like, this is somebody's child. And there's probably a grooming parent that sits behind her that's actually getting off by how much money she's making on OnlyFans from doing this type of thing. I mean, and that's what's even more disgusting about it.
Indy, that's what I was going to actually bring in because the other gal you were talking about is from the US and she did it the same thing. She was trying to break a world record and her mother is her manager. And Candace Owens actually did an interview. I watched a video, a little clip of them talking, and it was quite disturbing that the way that she was just acting like this is something that she wanted to do, and she just loves it. And it's like, there's no way you're loving that. There's no way. It's just impossible. Um, but this is what our little girls are seeing as a potential, thing to look up to. Like, let's break the world record. I mean, it's hard for me to even fathom, right, that a mother could do that. But we know that's happening in so many ways, not just with the OnlyFans. We were talking about it just the other day with the transgenderism and some of those kind of grooming things. And it's almost like, to me, I believe something ancestral that has been, kind of come through the bloodlines and the lineages, and similar to, selling your child off to the young marriage, right? I mean, it's the same type of vibe, really. And they've got to be getting financial gain,
Totally.
power, whatever, fame, whatever they're receiving from, doing this.
And I just took her picture down because I'm like, you know what? I don't want to exploit this woman either. Like, I'm just like, oh, okay, that was, good enough to see. But gosh, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's just in a different way, but it's the same thing as marrying your child off at 9 years old. Like, if you're sitting behind collecting a paycheck from that, that's
Can I
that's
just
some
draw a
hardcore karma.
parallel? Can I just draw a parallel to what happened? Well, I think it's still happening in India. It's pretty similar, because they've been practicing child marriage now for quite a while, and it's sort of ingrained into the society and the cultural practices, if you will, right? Um, the underbelly to that is, and in India, you might find this interesting because this city called Varanasi in north of India is supposed to be like the favorite city of Lord Shiva, and it's where people go to like burn the ashes of the dead and float it down the river, and that sort of signifies them like going to heaven or whatever, right? And so this city is like a receptive bowl, if you will, for all the widows of from these child marriages. And there's 38,000 women that are just thrown into this city, that are on the streets, that are begging because they have been essentially just kicked out of their family because they are considered, considered as a bad vibe, if you will, a misfortune. they're very superstitious in India, right? So if you lose your husband, then you become a widow and you are not welcome in the family, right? And so they're shipped off to this place called Varanasi, and they go into these communities where these women are living in utter poverty, and it's really really sad to see. If you guys want to get a sort of a glimpse into what this is like, there was a really good movie that was made by an Indian filmmaker called Deepa Mehta. The movie is called Water. So yeah, I would encourage you guys to go and see it. I actually met this filmmaker when I was, in the old days when I was working in the bank in downtown Vancouver. We were doing a fundraising event, and I actually got to speak to her about this. And she sort of told me, and I've actually been to Varanasi, and I couldn't stand the city. Like, I just want to get out of there. There's as soon as you get into the city, you immediately engulfed with burning flesh because of all the funeral pyres that are burning nonstop. It's like a 24-hour sort of thing that's happening there. So there's this interesting energy of like death, and at the same time, it's like all of these pujas are happening, and people are trying to keep it as a sacred space. But to me, it felt very, very dark. It felt inverted somehow. And then when you hear about these women, and you see them everywhere because they have to wear, like, it's either like a white sari and or a blue sari, and they are not allowed to wear that bindi anymore because that's like a sign that you are married. So they don't wear the bindi anymore. And they're all like they don't have any sort of income. They're just living off of, like, people that give them, whatever alms, or they go into the temples and they beg for food and things like that. So they're just living off of whatever mercy they can find on a day-to-day basis. So it's really,
Wow.
really sad to see that. And yeah, this movie really exposes that. So yeah, if you guys want to check that out, that'll give you sort
Yeah,
of a
we
glimpse of
love
what
it.
that is.
Well, maybe after this we'll post it down in the description too if you have the link for it or something, and that way everyone watching can check it out too. Um, yeah, a lot's been coming up with India today as well. I was getting that we needed to look at the Kamakaya temples, and you might be familiar with this somewhat, Raquel. I'm not sure, but I guess it's a temple that there's 51 pithas. It's the Shakta tradition, but it's like in each one of these temples, they have a part of the female genitalia, and that they're all worshiping the goddess of desire. And I think this is what's coming up. We have to clear like the corruption around the desire and the root chakra. There's something here. So it might be good for us to go into the grid work part of it. But yeah,
No, I haven't heard of that. I'll look into it though.
okay, yeah, yeah, but it's like it's Durga's like at the head of it, and then it goes down to Lakshmi and Kali Ma, and then all of like Kali Ma's different counterparts, and so they're all recognized in each one of these different temples. I think it's interesting they have 51 temples that are literally specifically supposed to be for the worship of the yoni, and for menstruation. Like they're temples for women to go and menstruate in. Um, but yeah,
Some of that is to that reverse rainbow, you know.
yeah, the reverse rainbow. Um,
Yeah, and Indy
Yeah.
will be working on India on Tuesday on the remote mission. So anybody that is feeling called to join us, please do for that.
okay.
We'll see what comes through.
I signed up.
I think more is going to come through. Uh, how's everyone feeling like energy wise? Do you guys feel like you want to do like a little bit of like remote viewing and kind of look at the grids? I mean, we've yet to got to talk about the Gulf of America. I think it's time we dive on in on that. Let's see really quick too. Just go over here to let's check out the chats before we jump over on the screen. Earth says she might have lost her soul. Yeah, she could just what if they're robots? What if, cyborgs and NPCs, things like this. Um, It didn't seem that way though with some of them though. It seems like they're actually young girls that are just like being steered in the wrong direction. Jim Montgomery says the female keeps the DNA of every male they sleep with and it affects their aura. Yeah. But is it like just for a specific amount of time? Like doesn't it clear after so long? I heard like it could be 7 years or something like that. What have you ladies heard on that?
Is this for sperm?
Yeah, I think so.
I
Yeah.
thought it was like 72 hours, but
Oh,
maybe I'm
okay.
wrong.
Not the DNA or like no, like their energy, like it gets
Oh,
transferred into your body. Like,
I don't think it ever leaves unless you sever those ties. To be honest, we have to be the one who consciously says, I don't want that anymore and sever it ourselves. And I'm saying sever, which is kind of harsh, but there might be a
yeah.
better word to describe it. Noko, do you have or you guys, Indy, you guys have a better word?
Well, I just wanted to bring in, some wisdom that and downloads that came to me on the Ireland mission when I was over there. It was laid on my heart that, we did carry those that we had been with, that we did carry even to their lineage. So I happen to believe there is something more than just, I think there is something physical. And I was able to, do healing and grid work for the lineages of, people that weren't even with me, the families that are not my lineage. And if you think about it, especially if you have a child with someone, that's a whole nother level because you are, as a mother, uh, taking that some of what the baby is. You're not only giving, but you're receiving, right? So, there are imprints, I think, that are there, on a permanent level in that case. Um,
Yeah. And I think too, because your body merges, like, especially depending how long this you're, one with this person, because that kind of becomes like a deep cellular, like, integration, like, into your cells. So it's like, I think you make the choice to cut the cords and the ties, but then it's like it is a process of your body almost like having to heal and recover from and like kind of purge that out of your body, right? Like on an energetic level. They say if you break up with somebody that you should go non-contact for at least 30 days because if you do, it's gonna re-trigger all of like the cellular imprint in their body, and then it'll like create that magnetism right back to that person. So you actually have to get like past like a hump of like 4 to 6 weeks or something. So yeah, this is probably a science to this, that's for sure. Okay, well, I'm gonna switch over to my map.
oh, in India, I wanted to
Or give me just a
confirm.
sec too, because I have to re-pull it back up.
Yeah, I wanted to just kind of confirm and affirm some of what you shared about how you've been feeling in the energies, because I was on a live call with lots of people today, people like us that are very mindful, that are doing the work, right? And they're all feeling the same way with the shedding, with kind of all of this coming forward right now. So there's something in the collective. It's not just you, my love.
Good. That makes me feel so much better because I almost feel just not entirely myself, if that makes sense. Like yeah.
And I noticed when we were having that conversation, our sacred brother Isaac from Arkansas, he mentioned stargates opening everywhere. So that's an interesting little connection.
Well, I think it definitely has something to do down with Stargate too. Um, yeah, let's see.
Oh,
Okay.
yes, I think
Yeah, so we got the Gulf of America over here. Maybe I'll put it on there.
And Isaac also just put 7 years
seemed
for
to
women energetically. So
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was 7 years.
all this Gulf of America stuff, I almost feel started around 4th of July last year. When we did that grid work. on the July 4th?
Yeah, right. I don't know. Was this the one that I used? It may or may not have been the one that I used for that. But yeah, we definitely did so much with that for sure. That was an incredible grid work session. Yeah. I would recommend going back and watching that one if you haven't, because that really seemed to kind of tip the ball, like get the ball rolling, it felt like in a lot of directions almost with Gridwork
And that
Mission.
Hurricane Beryl,
Yeah.
weren't you in Texas at that time during that Hurricane Beryl? That
Hmm.
was the first one of many storms that came through there. And I think this connects in with the whole dark flowering piece, these storms.
Yeah, well, let's put Sarasota on here. So I didn't even have time to chart any of this really, but I'll just put a couple things on. This would be Stargate 2. See where it's at in relation to the Gulf. So what I'm kind of getting with the Gulf of America is that it is like a rebirth, that it is holding universal energies. I was even getting, if you look at this like outline here in the water, I know it's just kind of like an underwater ridge, and I don't know how accurate that is, but it does kind of look like a uterus or something. I mean,
Yeah, it looks like an embryo in there.
yeah, like something could be growing inside it. Uh, I think these waters are womb waters for the Americas, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know how Mexico feels about getting their name knocked off the title. I mean, I'm not, is this who owns the Gulf? I mean, is this something someone owns? How does this work? Are we allowed to just change the name of it like that? Is that
I think I thought they were international waters because if I'm looking correctly, like okay, so there's like the Caribbean, so like there's all these other like islands around here, and we're only allowed, I believe, to change it within the United States, but I don't know if the rest of the world changes it. I think it stays the Gulf of Mexico with the rest of the world unless they decide to change it, but we change it to the Gulf of America.
okay?
Yeah,
Because that's what the big
Britain
thing
Britain
was on
has
Britain, said they'd refuse it.
who did you say?
Britain said they were going to
Yeah, yeah,
refuse
yeah. I was
it.
going to say the
Yeah.
same thing. Yeah, Britain has not recognized it. Yeah.
And I was just thinking, like, hey, Trump was talking about, connecting with Canada and Greenland. Like, okay, maybe he's just going to put this whole thing, Mexico, all in one, and then that would make more sense if you were going to rename it Gulf of America, right?
Well, it seems like if you go all the way down, like it'd be from Panama and then all the way down, look, we have Puerto Rico. So if you were to take all of that whole landmass area, that'd be a huge land grab, plus Canada, plus Greenland. That'd be huge.
Where's the Panama Canal in relation? See, the Panama Canal is not really a part of it so much. I mean, it's the Caribbean Sea.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting. I was getting like around Arkansas mission time that this point was going to become very significant, Costa Rica, and that it would, because it's the bridge between the North and the South, and all these points where you have like very significant bodies of land coming together, they're all going to be kind of, I mean, I think it's the cleansing and the dissolving and the unification and the rebuilding and repairing and harmony process that's going on in the grids, but it's definitely a point where we know a lot of warfare was actually going on down here. Um, oh,
Indy, if you were to draw a line from Panama Canal all the way up to, you're going to Charleston, North Carolina, right?
South Carolina. Yeah,
Oh,
let me put
South
that
Carolina.
in.
It looks like there's like a direct line from the Panama Canal all the way. If you like look at it, looks kind of trippy.
Okay, let me look.
And it goes actually through Miami.
Oh,
From
yeah, it would go through
Oh,
Miami.
wow,
Sleuthing.
totally.
Great sleuthing on that. Yeah.
Totally. Wow.
there's a direct link right there.
That is crazy. This is why we do this, you guys.
Remember when we did my chart, it went into Greenland. I thought that was amazing.
Wow, and that's so parallel with the J seals. Look at that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, well, this will be really good for our boots on the ground mission coming in April 11th, 12th, and 13th. I hope you guys are coming. We introduced that in the beginning coming in if you just joined us, but we announced our grid work mission in April. So maybe we'll recap that again uh here like when we're finished up looking at the grid. But yeah, this is gonna be a big mission. And yeah, it's going this is because the Bermuda Triangle is just like right here. I'm pretty sure it might even be on that or close enough.
The Bermuda Triangle points are Miami, Bermuda, and La Garita del Diablo at Puerto Rico, which
Okay,
is in
we have it
San
here.
Juan.
Well, and then all along this coast here, from the Yucatan down to Mexico, I mean, this is such a significant area in terms of the ancestors. Like the Olmecs, the Aztecs, the Incans, the Mayans. Like, this is definitely.
Indy, can you zoom in on that top part of the red triangle, like to the left, near Mexico? Yeah, if you look at that Veracruz, that top area there, you've got a blue Veracruz. Yeah. So that's where the new construction is going on. If you look just to the right of that, the narrowest part, that city there. If you just zoom in there to the, yeah, exactly that one. And then if you go to the south, you see Salina Cruz. So what's the name of it? Yeah, keep going up, up, up.
Right
Yeah,
here.
so Salina Cruz, and then towards the north of that, yeah, if you just keep going straight up from that point, the narrowest part, that's where they're building the bridge across. So from Salina Cruz all the way to, I can't read the name of that, but it's just to the
San
right of
Juan?
Veracruz. No, all the way up to the water.
Okay, up to here.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
it.
Oh,
That's it.
that's
Yeah.
the new path for the
Yeah.
new.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So they're building like
Wow.
roadways and tunnels and all kinds of construction is going on. So they're just going to cut through that to build that new Panama Canal alternative.
Yeah, and we have a comment here from Arizona Raven. There's a super highway planned Canada to South America. And
Okay. Wow, I don't know, you guys. I mean, that's going to be a lot of devastation and trauma to the land for them to put that in. I mean, I don't know how that makes me feel. And I really don't honestly know how it makes me feel that it's all about drill baby drill down in the Gulf of America. Like they're calling it the liquid gold. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I mean, if it is the womb, because it does look like a womb, like the entry point right by Havana and that area, uh, then it's like drilling into Mother Earth's womb. It's kind of disturbing, actually. And
yeah.
I think in here, I feel like there's some pyramids or something, like crystal pyramids or something. It's connected to Atlantis, the Atlantic Ocean. There was like landmass or something. There's something in there.
wow, Ani, I'm assuming you're not looking at the chat. Asheville
No,
Alchemy just said right before you said that, the Crystal Pyramids 50 miles away from the coast to Charleston.
yeah, weird. Yeah, we're syncing up. The minds are, yeah,
Wow.
quantum messages right there. But yeah, no, I mean, and I was seeing that when you were talking about Gulf of America earlier, and we were in our private chat texting. I saw crystal pyramids, and I know that they're around here somewhere. We just haven't found them yet. And it will disturb the pyramids because those pyramids hold like crazy energy from Atlantean times, maybe, or even further back. Um, and there's some crazy energy there. And it could have been those pyramids that caused, or whatever technology that caused the whole continent to collapse during the Atlantean destruction.
And more sinks. Ani, you are on point right now. Jim just dropped in the chat. Remember the oil and drill baby drill is a cover for Atlantis.
Huh.
Mm.
Cool.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, we're putting some pieces of the puzzle together here. Well, I mean, I think even down by Havana and Cuba, I mean, I know there's definitely underwater like cities that are sunk around here. And I don't think a lot of these things have like truly been excavated. And then we know, I think off to maybe in the Bahamas somewhere they have the it was like the Atlantean road. It is like an actual road that's under the water. So, I mean, there's so many remnants here. I mean, this really is kind of, it's like a new Earth point as well. I'm possibly, I don't know if it's birthing a lot of chains of islands. I think Japan is birthing more islands, but this may have been the original womb or going back in the
Yeah,
Atlantean timeline, like where it was positioned on the grids or on the planet or on the Earth.
Graham Hancock in that show Ancient Apocalypse actually shows from the air footage of the Bimini Road is what you're talking about.
Yeah, the Bimini Road, that's it. Yes. That, and then it's so crazy because I mean,
That
gosh, just
show for
last week I
people.
thought that the tip of Miami was breaking off, like the parallels of it and the astral body of it and the fabric of the parallel timelines, like that was getting sucked into the black hole system because there's black hole systems over here too. I mean, this is what the J seals are. This is why our grid work mission boots on the ground is going to be so significant, is because these are technically funneling black hole systems, is what they actually are. And I didn't even really realize that, like, that they somehow were turned on. Something like as if those wormholes got turned on, and that's why I was seeing the breaking. Um, but
Well,
that they're,
Charleston is the seventh seal. Remember, Charleston's the seventh seal. The Bahamas is the fourth seal.
yep, we have the seventh seal and what's that other one there?
The third seal's up in the Northeast somewhere. Remember, near where I'm born.
This is the fourth seal. Fourth, seventh, and Turks and Caicos is the fifth seal. This one would be in alignment with the Gulf. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's just it's due timing to do like a global J Seal ceremony, I think from that point. Definitely. And then what was the
Mm.
information you brought in, Missy, with Ashayana?
And we're going to be on
The
the beach for the J Seal.
That's right. The portals.
Yes, yes, and this portal here, mastodon bones wash up and stuff from ancient times. That's what I'm going to say. Allegedly, this is what I hear, is that the cathedral one part of it is dark flowering. Now, why I don't know, which is also connected to Stargate 2, which is off the coast of
Here.
Sarasota. I wonder if it connects in with that gravitron. Remember that whole thing with that gravitron, and also with James Tibron's work with those pyramids under the water. There's like good and bad with all this stuff. It's like, and it's like everything phases in and out. So it's like being in a positive timeline with this stuff, and then something happens and it's like negative again. Then it's positive and negative. It's like this fifth dimensional and more chess game of good guys make a move, bad. It just, and it's something being triggered. But even with all these storms, this ice, if like you have the fire and the ice, the fire out in California, and the ice and the snow in the Gulf. To me, in a way, even if that was supposed to be negative, that snowstorm, was it Enzo or something? Didn't it had a name, something like that. To me, it feels positive, like it's a freeze out, like it brought in higher crystalline codes, it brought in rainbow codes, and it was meant to freeze out the dark, to do with this wall and all this stuff of why it's the Gulf of America, to keep certain cartels and illegals. And I mean, and it's sad, some of it, when children get involved. I don't understand, overstand the whole picture of why, but there has to be some kind of barrier, because something has to happen with these factions of Draco reptilians, which is
Yeah.
really, at the end of the day, what it boils down to, and the fallen Atlantis timeline.
Well, I'm finding a very interesting connection here with what Jim's sharing about Kennedy knowing this information about Atlantis, and that he's saying that JFK wanted to release this info 3 weeks prior to when he was taken out. So the fact that we just saw Trump, sign a little something here to let some of this be released, and whether or not this is just energetically, divine timing, that we're here kind of diving into this topic and going deep here on the Atlantis front. Very interesting to me. No coincidence.
Yeah, this is such a very heightened area, isn't it? This is just, wow, so much energetic activity. It's literally lit. It's on fire. It
Yeah, I
is,
tuned in just before we got on as well, Indy, and I think I shared it with you guys. Like, I got that this is like a Draco stronghold, and it's not only the like the second tier, it's like the royalty, if you will. They call the great whites, they call them, or the big whites, right? So it's like the royalty of the Draco are sort of sitting in this area, and they've sort of laid ownership to this part of the world. And so I'm getting that this is like their last stronghold, if you will. And it's interesting that, it's the old Atlantis area, right, which holds most of all the secrets, right? And when you look at it, it's got all of the ingredients of all the trouble that we've been facing, right? It's got the Panama Canal, it's got Cuba, it's got the Dominican, it's got, the US, it's got Mexico, and it's all of these hotspots that are ideal for them to just pick and choose the kind of torment that they want to unleash, right? Whether it's drugs and alcohol, whether it's trafficking, whether it's human trafficking. And then you've got Haiti as well there, right? Which is like ripe for all of this stuff that's been going on. So yeah, I got that this is like the hotspot for them right now.
Oh, Haiti's a very well-known space
Yeah,
that all the elite, all the celebrities like to go and adopt, help and help the children, right?
yeah,
Mother Teresa.
yes, yes.
yeah. Well, ladies, I don't know. I'm not quite feeling the grid clearing or healing energy tonight. Like for me, something was just, it's like I think I have to be in a different space. A little bit of a different space for us to bring it in. And I think we've been on for a good uh hour and a half now. So I mean, I think we should save because we did have a lot of intel come in, and I think a lot of this I think we can really do in the grid work mission, the remote mission that we do, the healing that we do. Yeah. And we can pull these codes in. But this is kind of nice. This is almost like a pre-scout, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and it
I think
does feel like we connected a lot of dots and kind of laid a foundation there on the grids for us to work. So,
Definitely. Well, be sure you guys to join us for the remote mission on January 28th. Links are down in the description. Um, we also have uh well not this one. It was well, this is something too, right? The Global Gridwork New Earth Prophecy course. So if you're looking to do the remote missions and you're looking to come to the boots on the ground gridwork events with us, but maybe you're a beginner or you don't have information or you don't have knowledge, we cover it in the coursework. So everything about gridwork from beginner to advanced levels. And we also bring in new information each course that we do. So we have, this will be the third course that we're doing, and each one has highlighted a different level of information that's kind of come from the next one, come from the next one type of thing, continuing to grow, continuing to expand, and bring in the new intel. So keeping things fresh, keeping things in alignment with what's also currently happening in the world when we do these. Um, Big offerings in terms of the coursework because this is very intensive coursework. We're full on in it for a good 4 hours a day, just really getting all of the ins and outs and the holographic geography and how to step into a facilitator role, how to navigate and create missions, everything you would need from to plan missions to, then follow through and host them and things like this. So it's really cool to share all of this. So much has come from these courses. So many people who've taken the course and they're just incredible, amazing grid workers now. It's like, wow, right? I mean, to just see how people are flourishing once they get this training with actually becoming facilitators themselves. So it's really, really cool. And it really is the step to paving the way for the new Earth. We are building that by working on the energy, by becoming avatar land shamans, by accessing our planetary logos consciousness, and really learning how to navigate this intelligence and what we kind of serve on a guardian level in terms of our mission and how we support the earth. So I can't really wait to see what comes from the remote session that we do with these rainbow codes. I mean, this is coming in hot. This is coming in like I'm feeling it from head to toe, tingles type of thing. Um, and this all applies to I guess I don't have that link up, but it applies to the mission that we're doing in April. So yeah, this just provided me a different version of it. Wow. Do you guys see how the picture just came off from the last time?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
think you
kind
were
of
in
strange.
preview mode the first time, and this one's actually on your site, so we'll have to take a look at that.
Oh, wait a minute. Let's see. Okay, Yeah, I'll take a look at it. But uh yeah, this is really like a beautiful description of this event. And we always take a lot of pride in our events, like in terms of effort and creating a nice event. Like it's not like we're just like camping somewhere and just throwing some like hot dogs on a stick or something. Like it's like we prepare like nice home cooked ceremonial meals and many prepared ceremonies that are just full of healing and clearings that are completely in alignment with where the current events and where the state of the world truly is and what actually needs to be happening according to the ley lines and according to these stargates and according to these J seals and these funneling black hole wormhole systems. So we look at it with a full 360-degree lens before we put this stuff together, so that way we are bringing what is needed for planetary restoration and healing. So you definitely want to be a part of this because, I mean, they're like unforgettable experiences. I have like a picture of what we did in Kauai, like all my pictures, like in my room, and I'll just sit there sometimes and just stare at those pictures, like I'm just traveling through time from the experience and lifelong connections with our Gridwork community as well, which is amazing. Like how healing it is to come together with like-minded people and share that experience together. It's just, it's what we need. This is what we need to be doing and sharing with each other because it's so healing. There's so much growth. There's so much sharing. It's just, yeah, stepping out of isolation and your everyday life to devote something to really giving back on a spiritual level. I think me and Raquel talked about that actually in the show that we did. We talked about how those ceremonies, those sacred ceremonies, and giving that like those honorings to source and to the earth and that being reciprocated and that being felt and that being rewarded and all these things. So that was really a cool conversation we got into about that. But yeah, so yeah, I look forward to you guys coming. Everyone who hears the call, I guess you know who you are. And so with everything we discussed tonight, you guys, what do you think is like the overall message? Where do you think we're at?
Be discerning. Stay true to yourself and authentic.
Raise your frequency vibration.
Connect with nature and nurture instead of tech.
Yeah, and don't play into the lower timelines. You can see what's going on. We're all at a point that we can see it and not be a part of it and not create that in our minds, right? Because our minds are really powerful tools, and that's why the world is a stage. That's why they do what they do. So just remembering, you gotta keep yourself in that higher timeline. I think that's priority. And I do want to shout out Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot because I feel like he totally brought in the message in regards to where we were at, like as far as not doing the clearing and everything. He wrote, "We are in the portal time. This is the time to embrace and recharge in the neutral energy, center of the hurricane." And it really kind of felt a little like divine with where we were at there on that map and doing that work with the grids. It was like, yeah, he's tuned in here with us.
Mawa Hari says transmute, transmute, transmute. Yes. That's it. Repeating everything times three.
Well, and
Cleanse, resolve,
as
cleanse, and
humans, we
resolve.
can't forget like prayer and meditation. I just, somebody very close to me was just struggling with anxiety and depression. We sat down and did a 5-minute prayer and meditation together as a family, and it dissipated immediately. And we were just on a whole different timeline, a whole different shift from 5 minutes. So don't forget, it's free.
Yeah, definitely. That's amazing advice.
Laughter, I think that's something that we don't do enough of. There's a thing in India, it's called I think they call it the laughter club. Somebody just starts laughing, and somebody with like a really contagious laugh, right? And then it just catches on and everybody in the room is laughing, and it just breaks up any sort of tension in the room or anything that you're feeling in your body, right? And you just get that lighthearted energy back into your heart, right? So it's true when they say laughter is the best medicine, right? Yeah.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for coming to the round table and just being like celestial fire. I feel like we were transmuting just as you were speaking and sharing, and it's like it felt like we were clearing um, the astral and the mental planes and the emotional planes, and yeah, bring in space for this remote gridwork mission to come in, and we can do it on the spiritual metaphysical level a lot deeper. So yeah, it's been so good to connect. Thank you everyone for joining. Yeah, if you didn't put a like on the video, put one on your way out. And we love you all so much. And namaste.
One love.